Good morning, kids. How are ya? I'm Mrs. Kaplan. You might notice that I'm bouncing a lot. My husband got me a yoga ball because I couldn't stand sitting on the chair all the time. I'm sitting on the chair a lot, much more than I normally do. In my classroom, I'm always up out of my seat, sitting down next to students or, like helping kids out, building stuff. I'm hardly ever sitting on my seat, and I'm doing a lot of that these days. I'm sure you can relate. So you might see me bouncing around. Sorry, it's nothing wrong with the camera. It's just I'm enjoying sitting on the yoga ball. Anyway, today what we're going to do is we are going to learn a little bit about the Scratch community guidelines because we are going to go out into the community of Scratch and practice being good digital citizens, GDCs. Okay, good digital citizenship is not just about going out there and being friendly and consuming things on the interwebs, but it is about creating things to put out on the internet that make the world a better place and keep the Scratch site friendly and creative and collaborative. So I want to go over now these Scratch guidelines. I got to tell you, I read these Scratch guidelines and I thought, wow, these guidelines are something that I would like to put on the wall of my classroom, right? This is how I want my classroom to be, right? So in order to keep Scratch a friendly and creative community where people with different backgrounds and interests feel welcome, we need to, on Scratch, we need to be respectful. So when we're sharing projects or posting comments, we're going to remember that people of many different ages and backgrounds will see what you've shared. My own children started posting on Scratch when they were in kindergarten. So you have to kind of imagine when you're looking at a Scratch project, maybe a kindergartner made it, and maybe saying something like, that project is not that great. It's not so encouraging. I mean, it's pretty impressive that a kindergartner is programming something on Scratch, right? So make sure you're respectful. And, your mom might see it. I'm definitely going to see it. Mr. Doak might see it. So just make sure it's something that you want everybody to see. Be constructive. So when you're commenting on somebody else's project, something that you like about it, and offer some suggestions. Don't just offering suggestions without saying something that you like about it can come off a little abrupt and brusque because there's no way to tell tone of voice in a comment. So if you say something nice first and then you offer constructive commentary, that can be easier to take. I know that's how I would want to hear criticism. You're free. One of the coolest things about Scratch is how sharing it is. We share. We are free to remix projects, ideas, images, or anything else you find on Scratch. You can borrow anything. And anything that you post can also be borrowed. So make sure you give credit where credit is due. It's not about giving a bibliography, but it is a sharing place. Everything that is created and shared is shareable. So that goes both ways. Keep personal information private. Don't give out any information that could be used for private communication. No phone numbers, last names, addresses, email addresses, links to Twitter accounts, and whatever. If they have unmoderated chat, you're not allowed to link and put your Twitter addresses and stuff like that in there. Be honest. Don't try to impersonate other Scratchers, spread rumors, or otherwise try to trick the community into anything. Help keep the site friendly. If you think a project is mean or a comment is mean, insulting, too violent, or otherwise inappropriate, click report to let MIT know about it. I will not know about it. MIT will know about it. And if you're not sure, report it anyway and let the MIT folks check it out and let them make the judgment call. If the comment is too violent or insulting or whatever, it may be removed or deleted, and the person who posted the comment will receive a message from MIT. MIT is Massachusetts Institute of Technology. They're the ones who made Scratch. And in some cases, we have had accounts deleted. So, and sometimes it's not because something was mean, it's just that their username was like their first and last name, and so their account was deleted. Don't no one will know if you reported something that doesn't flag anything on the account. Nobody gets notified except for the person who posted the item if it violates the community guidelines. And if it doesn't violate the community guidelines, then they don't really do anything about it. So this is super important. Scratch welcomes people of all races, ages, ethnicities, religions, abilities, sexual orientations, and gender identities. In fact, there are kids from all over the world on Scratch, and you can translate in Scratch into so many different languages. And in fact, somebody commenting on your project may not even be from this country, so it's kind of neat. Like if they like your project and favorite your project, and then you like and favorite their projects, like you've made a friend in another country, which is who you have something in common with. You like to program. Anyway, so what we're going to do today is we're actually going to keep these community guidelines in our minds. I mean, I think this sounds like a really nice place to be, right? These community guidelines create an environment which is like, yeah, I want to learn a new skill in this place because everybody's going to be nice to me. Or they're supposed to be anyway. And if they're not, there's a way to keep it friendly. Anyway, so what we're going to do today is you guys are going to click on you're going to go to Scratch first. Okay, so go to scratch.mit.edu and then go back to Google Classroom and click on the link for the Scratch Studio called Getting Started with Scratch. So Scratch Studio is like a private room where anyone from our class can add projects, and we try to keep it kind of topical. You can make a Scratch Studio for anything. I have a Scratch Studio just for pink fluffy unicorns. I'm not kidding. I have one that's called Pink Fluffy Unicorns. Not in this account, but in my other account, I could show you some other time when we do a project where you're going to create your own studio. And I put a little picture up here and I put a little description. And you guys are all curators on this Scratch project, which means that any of you can put projects in here, but really the only ones that I want you to put in here are your Getting Started with Scratch projects. And the way that you're going to do that is you go to your Scratch projects and you find a project that you want to put in there. Okay, so let's say I'm going to do a Pegasus Rainbow Extravaganza. And what else is in here? Do I have more projects in here? I don't really have that many projects in here. I gotta get more projects. I don't really have a whole lot of time to do any coding. I did a lot of projects on my other account. So, actually, go back here. I'm gonna go to my stuff. You can see I'm kind of navigating through my items by clicking on the little folder up here. I've got a lot of untitled. I've got a lot of untitled projects, don't I? They're just blank because I just created all these examples. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to unshare this and we're going to go take a look at this Puppy Maze remix. So your project, you're getting started with Scratch. So I'll just put getting started. Now your project does not have to be called Getting Started with Scratch. Okay, it could be called anything. In fact, I would call it something that has something more to do with the topic, maybe Puppy Maze. Okay. Somebody in my last class made it. But you can see up here, it says this project is not shared. So only I can see it. Only the person who created it. I didn't actually create it. I just remixed it. In order for me to put it inside that studio, which is your assignment for today, part of your assignment for today, you need to click the share button. So click share. Okay, it says congratulations on sharing your project. Other people can now try it out, give comments, and remix it. You can also share from the list of your items. So you can click on share. You can't share from here. You used to be able to share from here. Okay, well, whatever. So you have to go to the project page. This is called the project page. So if you're on the inside of this, you can click the share button here. Click that button, or you can click see project page and you can click share. Okay. All right. Then below here, you click Add to Studio, and you're going to have this. I have a bunch of studios that I made. You only have the one, and you're going to click Getting Started with Scratch and put your project in there. The other way you can do it is you can go from this file, as long as it's already shared, you can put it in any of those studios. You can also see how many views it has, how many likes and favorites and comments and things like that it has. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to put your project in there. You can also click on the Getting Started with Scratch Studio link on Classroom, and you can click Add Projects, and then if you just click on My Shared Projects, you can choose your project from there as well. And as you see that, you'll see your classmates' projects start to fill up the studio, and you can go in and start looking at your classmates' work. So you can look at that. Now, here's the thing. If you don't have any instructions on your project, no one's going to know what to do with it. So if you're supposed to click the green flag in order to play, play the Getting Started thing that you made, you should probably put that there. So you're going to type in the instructions, like click the green flag to start. Okay. Click the green flag. Notes and credits. If you borrowed anything from anybody, any sprites, any music, anything, you can like it, you can favorite it. It doesn't have any remixes. It has 4 views right now. You can see it's in a game studio, and it's in Getting Started with. And you can see there's some comments. Notice, right? It's so cute, but I like when there's constructive criticism. You can see the little report button here. You only get the delete button if it's your project, and if you don't like a comment, you can delete it, and which is kind of nice. And if you think it's mean, you can report it, but you don't even have to tell anybody. Any other things here? So what I want you to do, I want everybody to turn in their Getting Started with Scratch into the way you're going to turn it in is you're going to put it into the Getting Started with Scratch studio. Okay. If you have a little bit of extra time and you want to try something else besides putting your stuff into the studio, you can take a look at your classmates' work and do some comments, likes, and favorites. It's always fun to get some favorites. So in order to get some favorites, maybe you should give a few out. Maybe you should make a few comments on the bottom of their projects. Maybe they'll comment back and reply to you. I'm rolling around my Pokeball here. You can also follow that studio. You'll get messages up here every time something happens to an item in the studio. Or another thing you can do is click on your profile and populate your profile. So you can add a picture here. I have a little animated GIF of a rainbow unicorn. Now notice, remember, look at that. Don't put anything personally identifiable in here, like so that people could locate you, but certainly you could talk about yourself and tell what kind of person you are, what kind of things you like to do. Maybe all your projects are going to be about tacos. I don't know. That sounds like kind of fun. And then eventually, when you've shared enough projects and commented enough, you'll get an invitation to become a Scratcher, and then you can actually become a full-time Scratcher. I've been a Scratcher for a really long time, but this is a relatively new account, so I'm being invited again, which is nice. All right, that's all for today. So I'm going to give you score points for putting your project into the studio, and maybe you guys can do some comments and populate your profile. Later on, populating your profile with a picture and images and stuff like that, this automatically populates over here. You can actually change your featured project. This will be an assignment. So if you want to get this done, hey, you're ahead of the game. Okay. All right. Have a great day. Bye.